In this podcast episode, Whitney Cummings discusses her career, personal growth, and the changing dynamics of gender roles. Cummings discusses the transition from being hard and brash to embracing vulnerability and femininity. She talks about how she had to prove herself in a male-dominated industry and how she overcompensated by adopting a tough exterior. She also shares her personal experiences of nurturing her career and others, but not turning that nurturing energy towards herself or her relationships. She reflects on the need to soften up and show her vulnerable side, especially as she approaches motherhood. Cummings talks about achieving her career goals and how it has given her the permission to embrace her feminine and vulnerable side. She shares her journey of self-improvement and the realization that she needed to become the person she wanted to attract in a partner. She emphasizes the importance of having her life together before attracting the right partner and not wanting to be a mess that someone else has to clean up. Cummings discusses the changing dynamics of gender roles and the pressure to embody certain qualities traditionally associated with masculinity or femininity. She talks about the societal expectations placed on women and the need to prove oneself in a male-dominated industry. She also reflects on the idea of nurturing and how it can be seen as a masculine or feminine quality, and how she has used nurturing energy in her career and personal life. Cummings shares her perspective on parenting and self-care, emphasizing the importance of taking care of oneself before starting a family. She talks about her experience of taking care of her sick parents and how it shaped her view of parenting. She highlights the idea that parenting doesn't start when you have a child, but rather when you start taking care of yourself in your 20s. Cummings shares her early realization that being a wife doesn't start when you meet your partner, but rather with self-care and avoiding toxic relationships. She discusses the concept of overtuned charm and the allure of aloofness in relationships. She also delves into the idea of people-pleasing and the impact of trying too hard to be liked, which can be off-putting to others. Cummings talks about her experiences with therapy and how it helped her address her emotional needs and patterns. She also discusses her involvement in a 12-step program for adult children of alcoholics, which helped her overcome people-pleasing tendencies and set boundaries in her relationships. Additionally, she shares how working with animals, particularly fostering dogs, helped her meet her emotional needs and avoid getting into unhealthy relationships. Cummings reflects on her journey to motherhood and the emotional maturity and clarity that came with being pregnant. She discusses the relief of letting go of the pressure to achieve career success and the realization that money and fame didn't fulfill her emotional needs. She also shares her realization that having a child is an opportunity to love something beyond oneself and the transformative impact of becoming a mother. Cummings acknowledges that her earlier stance of not wanting children may have been a form of protest and self-protection. She reflects on her engagement and the realization that she wasn't ready for marriage and family at that time due to her unresolved emotional issues. She also discusses her desire for authentic and genuine relationships, where both partners can be fully authentic with each other. Whitney references her friend Mary Harrington, who advocates for digital modesty and setting boundaries for online content. She emphasizes the importance of being mindful about what to share on social media, especially in the context of personal relationships. Whitney also discusses the challenges of maintaining intimacy with people who have access to her public persona through her podcast and book. She highlights the need to balance personal authenticity with the public image, especially when it comes to dating and relationships. Whitney delves into the dynamics of romantic relationships and the importance of positive reinforcement. She emphasizes the need for mutual respect and understanding in relationships, as well as the significance of positive communication. Whitney also highlights the importance of maintaining separate social circles and seeking advice from the right sources, such as friends and therapists, to avoid burdening romantic partners with unnecessary details. Whitney shares her personal struggle with maintaining a balance between work and personal life, especially in the context of her career as a comedian and writer. She discusses the challenges of turning hobbies into businesses and the need to engage in activities purely for enjoyment without the pressure of productivity. Whitney emphasizes the importance of setting boundaries and playing defense against the tendency to turn every activity into a potential business opportunity. Cummings talks about her past struggles with workaholism and the belief that socializing and having fun were a waste of time. She shares her realization that socializing and experiencing life are integral to creativity and staying relevant. She also discusses the toxic nature of using workaholism as fuel for an extended period of time, highlighting the importance of taking breaks and doing nothing. Cummings emphasizes the need to schedule time for processing emotions and making decisions. She shares her personal experience of scheduling time to worry about things and making decisions, as well as the importance of allowing oneself to feel and process emotions. She also discusses the concept of enjoying feelings and using them as motivation for making better choices. Cummings discusses the challenge of winding down after an emotionally agitating experience, such as performing on stage. She encourages individuals to embrace and enjoy intense feelings as a form of gratitude and motivation. She also emphasizes the significance of celebrating achievements and not being a sore winner, as well as the impact of anesthetizing oneself from feelings through distractions like scrolling on a phone. Cummings talks about the Overton window, which represents the range of acceptable speech, and relates it to the avoidance of intense emotions. She discusses the tendency to sedate oneself from feeling feelings, such as using a phone to distract from negative emotions. She highlights the importance of not missing the opportunity to feel a feeling that can motivate one to do something great. Cummings shares her personal growth journey and the importance of reflecting on past decisions and experiences. She discusses the impact of the stories individuals tell themselves about their decisions and the lasting effects of those stories. She also emphasizes the need for self-reflection and the ability to respond rather than react to situations.